Back now on Forsyth County Connections, I have a first-time visitor with us, and so glad she took some time out to be with us. Jonelle Berky is Director of Medicaid Services Division of the Forsyth County Department of Social Services. It's a big responsibility, and she's very busy, but we're glad she stopped by to spend a few minutes with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
There have been some major changes to North Carolina Medicaid, so let's talk about that. What are those changes, and how have they impacted Forsyth County?
Biggest change is December 2023, Medicaid expansion came in by bipartisan vote. We now have Medicaid expansion, 40th state, North Carolina, and that has provided access to folks that were not eligible for Medicaid prior, and that's the age group of 19 through the age of 64 years old.
Yeah, we didn't rehearse this, but I mean, I'm just curious, people that weren't eligible before and now they are, give me one quick example of something that would have held them back from being eligible before.
Not having children.
Not having children.
Not being disabled.
They'd say, okay, well, you don't have children, so you really don't need Medicaid, but now that's changed.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how do I know if I'm one of the county residents who now qualify?
So there's about 118,000 folks right here in Forsyth County receiving Medicaid services. So that's 1 out of 3 people are receiving Medicaid.
Right.
There is about 17,000 folks right here in the community running around that are possibly eligible for Medicaid services that have not submitted an application.
Maybe they don't know.
Absolutely. And so historically, because those folks have been denied or terminated from Medicaid, they're less likely to come in.
Well, that makes sense. If you
Right.
go, well, I'm not going to go mess with this again if I
Right.
couldn't get it before, but now they can.
Absolutely. So when we're talking about those qualifications, it's you're a resident of North Carolina, you're a citizen or a qualified person. You make, for one person, about $1,800 a month or less. You'll possibly qualify for full Medicaid services.
All right, now let's talk about the application process. I think you told me in an email that you wanted people to know it has been simplified. What do you mean by that?
Simplified, streamlined application. Not many questions. Anything that we need now to verify information, we sort of receive that through an electronic hit. We're not asking folks for pay stubs and birth certificates and driver's licenses and social security
So it's not real
cards.
complicated?
Absolutely not. Streamlined process.
And can they fill this out online, or do they need to come to an office and do it the old-fashioned way, or what?
Yes, sir. They can do it right online. That address is ePass, so E and then pass, PASS.NC for NorthCarolina.gov, or they can come to the office. They can call us.
All right, I'm an old guy, I write slow, so all right, give me that again, I'm going to write it down.
So it's the letter E
Okay,
and then the word pass, PASS.
okay,
.NC for North Carolina.
Okay.
.gov.
Got it.
G-O-V.
okay, that's good. All right, now, going back to why people might be reticent to apply, there's sort of another angle to that, which is they say, well Ms. Berky, I've heard that the government might cut out this or that, or, you know, is there a fear that the government might cut this at some point, or what?
I think there's a fear just in general about Medicaid. We're hearing a lot about it on the news. There's a lot of speculation. What I do know is that the benefit is readily accessible today. And there's 17,000 folks here in Forsyth County that are possibly eligible. And those are the folks that I want to touch, and those are the folks that I would like to talk to, have an application completed, determine eligibility, and provide access, because that access also provides economic wealth for our community.
What about folks that say, well, how does this matter to me? I mean, I don't know anybody in my immediate family that needs the Medicaid services, but I guess my question to you is, why is this expansion good for the whole community?
So when we look at health systemically here in Forsyth County, it creates a wealthier, healthier, safer Forsyth County when folks are getting the assistance they need. And when we're looking at a population within our community, just like every community throughout this country, of folks that are in a season of homelessness and a season of addiction, there is usually some mental health behind that as well. Medicaid can provide the access, the treatment for quality health care. We have one of the best conglomerates. We have wonderful medicine right here within Forsyth County. We have
Yeah.
great providers.
Right.
They can help. Medicaid can help with that process of giving folks the access to recovery, treatment for mental health.
Makes everybody
and
more
also-
productive.
Absolutely
Good
safer.
employees, good,
Yes.
yeah, I got it.
Yes.
That is great. Well, you've already mentioned the epass.nc.gov, so we've done that. I want to remind people that's somewhere they can go. Jonelle, thanks for all the work you do.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
All right.